Hello, everybody. Welcome to On the Homefront. John Murphy here with you once again. Thank you very much for sharing some of your time with us. We create this space together here once a week, and we open the doors for the community to come in and share all kinds of stories. We post them on YouTube so they can share their stories. If you catch us on live radio, it's the best thing for us and the most fun. But if you miss us, if you care about the community, you can go to YouTube and get all these shows on WILI and stay better connected. For the second part of the show, we're going to look at the arts at Eastern and their great music program. They have a jazz concert coming up in December. We have a couple of members of their jazz combo coming on to talk about jazz education and jazz and music in general here as part of the scene in Eastern Connecticut. And I'm very happy to have Baird back with us in the house for another visit. She is from the Cultural Coalition serving in Southeastern and Northeastern Connecticut. She's the Outreach and Impact Coordinator. Good to have you back in the house.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we're going to have Liz here next week. Liz Bologna is the Northeast Coordinator. We'll have her cover more of the Northeast next week, we hope. But right now we're looking really at the Southeast, and that's got some news that Kia is here to share. And also there's some grants available and some things on the website that you can learn about to get better connected to the arts.
Well, hello. How are you?
It's been a hectic day.
Yes.
It's been a hectic day, to tell you the truth.
I say, wow.
I should be wearing a helmet right now. But
I tell you, the short weeks are the longest.
yeah, that can be. See on my camera, so I can't wear the helmet. That's not cool. But things are good. The show's coming along. We're on 3 radio stations, so wherever you're listening to us, thank you for staying here. We'll be able to work much more in the next year, doing more and more local things.
Absolutely.
So the arts thing is growing, and you're very busy in the Southeast. Can you give us kind of an update?
Well, so coincidentally, well, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say it's not so busy right now, but that's not true at all. We are moving into the holiday season. I particularly just started singing with the Eastern Connecticut Symphony Chorus.
Oh, wonderful. How's that going?
It's so much fun. It's so much fun. We just performed a Mahler work. Well, I should say the symphony performed a Mahler work. The chorus only had to sing for about 6 minutes, but it was it's everything in German, and and it's been a long time since I had to sing in German, so that was some exercise. So
excellent, good experience.
It was so fun, though.
The vocal cords stretched.
Yeah. It was really fun. We also were joined by the children's chorus of Westerly, which was very cool. But the Eastern Connecticut Symphony Orchestra is celebrating 15 years of their conductor Toshi being with the symphony, so that's exciting. The symphony is so big now, which is great, that only the symphony fits on the guard stage, and the choir had to stand on the stairs on the side, which is exciting.
This is kind of Cecil B. DeMille stuff.
Yeah,
here.
it's really exciting.
So what's causing the growth, do you think? What's making it grow?
Toshi is really a phenomenal conductor. So I would imagine folks really want to work with him, and it's exciting.
Well, maybe we'll have them on next year and talk about that as part of the coverage of the music scene.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. Caleb is their executive director. I'm sure he'd be happy to come. And like I said, they're celebrating 15 years of having this conductor in Eastern Connecticut, which is phenomenal.
Oh, that's a milestone and a half.
Yeah.
There's a story right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Coming your way.
I'm giving you extra work to do. What's today? Wednesday?
27th.
Okay, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Friday is the Christmas tree lighting ceremony in downtown New London. So there's a youth chorus that'll be singing, the Shoreline Handbell Ringers. Handbell? Is that right? The Shoreline Bell Ringers?
Yeah, the bell ringers.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
They used to be on Ed Sullivan. They would do the ringing.
The ringing of the bells, they'll be there. Yeah. Santa, there's a Jeep parade. So it is, 'tis the season for lots of lighted parades in Mystic, in New London. All of the, this is New England. This is Connecticut, and it's about to be winter. So things are popping off. Small Business Saturday is coming up, and we're excited about that because that means that people can buy gifts from artists. That's a great opportunity to shop small, and a lot of the galleries are open, and they have works that are made by local artists. So it's nice to gift people some art. That's a really cool gift to give.
And, I want to ask you about that.
Sure.
Because something that comes up occasionally is this idea of the arts economy, and people don't realize realize how that's a circle.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you shop in the big box stores, then you spend the money in Willimantic, but it goes out of state.
Right.
Wherever it goes, it's gone.
Absolutely.
The arts economy is often locally based. When you support arts, it stays in the state, and there's a leverage effect. Can you talk about how people have got data now that shows this is a real thing?
Well, it's funny, and too, I can't pull these numbers off the top of my head, but you're absolutely right. The creative economy is huge. I think it's the second biggest industry in the United States, and it includes things that lots of times we don't think about. So we're talking about not only visual and performing artists,
Right.
but you're talking about people that design games for gamers, right? People that design your websites or your traffic signs and things like that. All of these are artists that contribute to the creative economy in different ways. And to your point about the circle, so if you come into town to see a theater show or to hear the jazz band play, you're likely to park, which, those funds go to the municipality if you got to pay for parking.
Sure.
Then you get out, you go
they
stop
love that.
you get out, you go stop and have a bite at a restaurant downtown before you go see your show.
Sure.
You may stay in a hotel. And that's how the economy kind of starts with the arts, but it expands into all different industries. And even we think about, the housing crisis and things that we have now, but buying art directly from artists, right? That goes to help them pay their rent, help them pay their bills. It's just the impact of your dollar is staying in town, which is amazing.
And I'm going to take a second to show the camera here. This is a graphic of the Artist Open Studios. I'm going to show it over here on Kia's side. This is aosct.org.
Yes.
aosct.org. There's a map inside. It shows you in the northeast part of the state, all around the region, where all the artists live, where their studios are. And during Artist Open Studios, you visit them and see what they do, how they do it, and you support local arts that way. They have things that are fancy and expensive and very, very, very elaborate, and they have simpler things on different kinds of budgets.
Absolutely.
And it's all on the website now. It's this coming weekend. That's why we're talking about it now. It's this weekend after Thanksgiving and next weekend, December 7th and 8th. aosct.org, Artists Open Studios. It's a great way to drive around. It's all local, and you can meet the arts face to face.
Yes,
So that's part of what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's so great. It's also great to meet an artist when you're buying, their piece. Talk to them about what their process is, about how they got into the art, got into the medium, and then you have this thing in your home that has a story, as opposed to just
it's always
picking
there.
it off a shelf somewhere, and
Yeah.
So shop small, shop arts.
Now, I want to mention the website, too, because whatever we share today, there's tons more throughout the year about grants. Kia is here talking about some of the things right now. Culturesect.org. Culturesect.org. And if you go there, there's tons of stuff. Are there any grants that you might want to reference now? I know some are coming up soon.
Yeah, I think
these are good opportunities,
so,
right?
yes, I would always check our website because it will link you to the Connecticut Office of the Arts.
Right.
It also, like if you're a touring organization, it will link you to NEFA for larger opportunities.
Now, what's NEFA for those? NEFA.
New England Foundation for the Arts.
Right.
Of the Arts. For the Arts. NEFA. So great resource. And then we talk about it all the time, but another resource on our website is our funding booster. So for artists, arts organizations that may have a concept or an idea for a project that they're interested in, they can absolutely use our become a member, which is a free membership, but become a partner of ours, and use the resource to get help with your grant applications or finding funding opportunities for your projects.
Right. And, whether you're an individual or a group, you can register with them because they have a resource database where you can be listed and located, as well as an email newsletter where we're on the air usually once a month with Kia or maybe Liz, but they'll keep you posted through email of all these new grants well in advance. And again, it's just through the main website. So sign up for that. You can plan ahead for the whole year. And there's training. And also, one thing I wanted to ask Key about, we have a new session coming up in the legislature, and it's always a stress test of sanity and inspiration, whatever it is. But One thing that's happened in recent years that's been encouraging to me is the arts, culture, and tourism are trying to talk to each other more and cooperate more than compete, because they're fighting over what is still a small pie when you look at the state economy. And that friction was not helpful before. And they've gotten over some of that. They're trying to collaborate. Can you mention how that makes a difference and how tourism and even the humanities comes into this too?
Right.
All together.
Yeah, I think that it is, and even myself, I've tried sometimes to separate the arts from tourism, but it's Connecticut and they are inextricably connected. You think about places like Mystic County or whatever, it's not, Mystic area and our downtown historic areas, and the arts, the history, and tourism are so connected. The history in our region is strong, and we want people to come in and visit, right? And to your earlier point about, raising the economy for all of our businesses, whether they be specifically arts businesses or tourism or if it intersects. But it's very cool that our new director of tourism for the state is a rock star. She is a singer. So she sees specifically the value of arts and
we'll have to get her in the house.
Yeah, Rachel, she's got to come see. Yeah, I don't even know if people know that she's she's a rockin' chick. She's really, really cool. So,
all right.
But yeah, it is so nice to have that collaboration between the state's marketing campaigns, tourism, and the work that we've been doing in the culture sector.
Yeah. So when people contact you, do you have any sense? We have a few minutes left with Kia today. In case you're on the radio, we're with Kia Baird today from the Cultural Coalition serving Southeastern and Northeastern Connecticut. What are the areas that people come to you that they're in need for help? What is the need that you learned about that's out there now? People are trying to do more, and people with resources are trying to match them. And you folks help to match.
Yeah, so one of the major things, and I don't think we've talked about it that much, but one of the major things that comes up when I'm talking to artists, especially performing artists, is they're looking for venue space. So again, we talk about this historic region that we live in. You drive downtown, you see some buildings and things that are open. So we appeal to the folks that own these buildings and these spaces. If you have a really cool space that could be performance space, we know that we have really, really large venues, and then we have really quaint, kind of venues. But one of the things that artists are looking for is something in between, something where you don't have to have 10,000 people to fill the area, or 1,500 people, or 6, So that's been a thing that has come up quite a bit, is spaces where artists can show their work, where visual artists can show their work, and where performance artists, can have some gigs and bring people in and play some music. So that's been a recurring theme as I've been talking to artists over the years.
That has a lot of potential because our half of the state is more rural. It's spread out, less money. People are more isolated, so there's more of a need. And there is a venue group out here. They're not really organized yet, but NEFA does fund touring. And other states have done very well supporting artists with places, kind of connect the dots across Massachusetts, and you'll see what I mean. And there's parts out here that are still not really well represented yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we know the spaces are there. Yeah.
It's too quiet.
Yeah, sometimes, for sure. We know the spaces are there. We know the performers and the artists are there. It's making those connections.
Yeah.
Because who wouldn't want to go see some cool, different, weird place where you can see art or hear music or dance or poetry. So, yeah, that's one of the things. That's one of my goals.
Yeah.
Of the many, that's one of my goals, to try to make some more venue space available to folks.
That would be great. And we'll keep tracking it here each month. We'll have different people here from the coalition updating you on the Southeast or the Northeast. Kia, thanks for coming by today.
Yeah.
It's always nice to have you in the house.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
We'll see you all back in December.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Happy Turkey Day.
All right. Take care. We'll take a short break and come right back, talk about the arts at Eastern. Don't go away. Yeah. All right, folks, I have some really good news to share. I got something in the email today The Connecticut Office of the Arts has named their arts heroes across the state, and Willimantic's Joe Malinowski won the award as the arts hero for Willimantic Wyndham. There'll be an official ceremony in January in Hartford, a big celebration. It's a statewide celebration of individuals who have made a real difference in some way in the world of the arts. And Joe has been an angel for the music community in Willie for a long, long time, with his store and all the great live events he puts on. And some of that good karma came back to him. So thank you, Joe. Congratulations. I know a lot of people are thanking you at the same time. And we'll talk with you more about coming in here maybe in December. And you can flame a little bit about what it's like and what music is like for you to support. So that's a good note. I wanted to mention that right away because our next segment is all about music. Right now we're going to get into jazz with two people that are committed to the path. They're students at Eastern. Sitting next to me is Dylan Schore. He is, I'm sorry, is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, my own mistake. Dylan Schore. He's a second-year student, and he is also here with Jacob Wurst. He's a senior. They're both part of Eastern Jazz ensembles that are performing for free on Monday, December 2nd. So thank you for your good work, first of all, to keep the music alive so people can enjoy it. And we have two events happening at the same time. It's a double concert. So maybe you guys can break down each group and what they're going to do to support and share the music.
Yeah, sure thing.
Okay.
So first up, we've got the Eastern Big Band, the big band jazz orchestra that has been conducted by our own jazz professional here on Eastern Connecticut State University, Dr. Anthony Cornicello.
Right.
Dylan is a player on this in this big band.
Oh yeah, Anthony's been here in the house a few times talking about the program. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got the 3 o'clock jazz combo, which we are both student directors for, and we help guide along all our instrumentalists in jazz improvisation, stage communication. It helps us build interpersonal and teamwork skills. So we, as we express ourselves through the types of music that we like to play.
All right. So maybe without losing us in the history, what kind of music have you shared? Because when you use the word jazz, it's well over 100 years of sound in all kinds of contexts. So what, with such a deep well to draw from, what are you putting together for us on December 2nd?
Yeah, of course. For the band, for the big band specifically, no, rather for the 3 o'clock combo.
Okay.
We have an assortment of bebop and post-bop tunes.
Nice.
Some that three standards, if I'm remembering correctly, that are really well known, and three more recent songs that have been put together. We've got a piece by Horace Silver, who's able to. If I'm saying this correctly, he blends a lot of spiritualism into his music.
I love his piano. He's from Norwalk, Connecticut.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Song from My Father is a Horace Silver tune.
Yeah.
One of the most famous standards as well.
Oh yeah, Steely Dan did a great cover. That was a big hit for them.
Yeah, really.
Because the music you're tapping runs deep. It's a real history. You're also doing stuff with Mingus.
Yes.
Bud Powell, one of the greats.
Right,
So
right.
this is going to be a rich program. So how do you work out, because the combo is 4 to 7 pieces, right? So how do you work out your arrangements depending on the song with various combinations? That must be the fun part.
It is the fun part.
Right.
So we do have a lot of members currently. I remember hearing about the combo before I was an Eastern student.
Yeah.
There were only a couple of instrumentalists as well as a rhythm section, which the rhythm section consists of piano, drums, bass, guitar, typically. And then the instrumentalists could be saxophonists, trombonists, trumpet players, and also we could have vocalists if we want to arrange a song that way. But since we have so many members now, we have 5 saxophonists and 3 guitarists, as well as a pianist, a drummer, a bassist, and 2 of our saxophonists are vocalists.
Wow.
So if we had a song where all of those members were playing, it would basically be like a little big band, so to speak.
Sure.
And one of our songs, we actually do feature all of our players on that song. That would be Stormy Weather. It's a vocal tune, so one of our saxophonists is singing, and the rest of the saxophones are playing a background part underneath her vocals, and all 3 guitarists are featured with a rhythmic part put together by our faculty director, Rick O'Neill.
Right.
So that with that tune, we're able to layer everything together so that none of the parts are intruding over one another, and it can all blend together nicely. And that tune's a favorite of mine.
And you know, the fun thing for me in jazz, because I've been playing jazz on the radio for so long, is you get a classic tune like Stormy Weather, and the beauty is it's never the same way twice. And the arrangement can really reflect a nuance of how you interpret the song. So you may be familiar with the song, but in a good band, they'll be full of surprises. And that's what you figure out is how to add some kind of twist somewhere.
Precisely. That is what jazz is all about.
There you
Finding
go.
the improvisation.
Right.
And just being able to draw upon whatever sort of influences we may have, bring that to the table, and mix it in sort of a cultural melting pot and mix it and make it into something new.
That's right. It's hard to articulate that in a few words because there's so much going on, but that's exactly the magic that makes it work all the time for these different songs. Yeah. All right. Well, that's a brief preview of the combo. Could you jump over to the larger scale and some of the work that you're looking at too?
Yeah.
For the big band.
Yeah, for the big band. Would you like to take that up, Dylan?
Yeah, so the big band is that was the type of jazz ensemble that appeared first way back about 100 years ago, honestly.
Yes.
And it's a big band. Of course, it's got a saxophone section, trombone section, trumpet section, and the rhythm section typically, and that's what we have here at Eastern. And in our big band, we have a good mix of not only students, but also alumni and community members who play with us. So we're able to get a bunch of different experience levels, and we can all put them together and play some great music that we can all enjoy. And we also have a good mix of tunes for our program. Some more well-known standards, such as All the Things You Are,
Sure.
which has been covered plenty of times by plenty of musicians that are recognizable by even someone who may not know much about jazz or jazz musicians.
Right.
And then we have tunes from way back when, in the big band era, like Big John Special, which is just a crazy swinging saxophone-focused fun tune that sounds like if the word jazz was personified into a song, if that's the right way to put it, it would probably sound like that. Yeah. It's a really fun tune. And then we also have some later style tunes. We're doing a bassy tune called Corner Pocket. Yeah, we have a good mix of songs in our jazz ensemble program as well.
Yeah. One thing that's very interesting about this is that we've each for the big band and for the 3 o'clock combo, we're featuring songs, as we've mentioned, by Bud Powell. 2024, we declare this sort of the year of Bud here at Eastern Connecticut State University, due to being 100 years after the birth of Bud Powell, and we wanted to pay him like some sort of special tribute in just playing his music and just celebrating his contributions to jazz.
You know, that's something that is unique to jazz in some ways, how the generations will pay tribute to each other. So somebody in the 80s will play and pay tribute to something from the 40s. And I think Gunther Schuller, I had a chance to talk to him one time. He was in Boston once. And he said that the generation in the 90s, he thought, for the first time in jazz history, had access to the entire history at one time. So their vocabulary was no longer limited by style or genre or period, but pure instrumental sound, and the textures flow. So the labels go away. It's still jazz, but it's hard to market it. People are still confused about the music today, you know. Jazz radio is still limited. I wish there was more jazz on the radio. So my question for you young guys is, out of all the music you could be playing, why did you get into jazz, and how long have you been at it?
Jazz was only a recent endeavor of me personally.
Okay.
I've been more classically trained. I've been more focused in rock music.
Okay.
I wanted to expand. I wanted to get better at piano specifically because I'm the pianist for the 3 o'clock combo.
Right.
And I decided to take up jazz lessons, and I wanted to immerse myself in sort of the educational jazz scene here at Eastern Connecticut State University. Yeah. So I met some amazing people along the way and got to learn their music tastes through this. and being able to bring in my music tastes into how we conduct the combo and how we and how we just like cooperate through and learn about becoming leaders in a band setting. I'd say it's a very good learning experience.
It's a special kind of communication when it's live, especially. Rehearsing is one thing, recording is one thing, but live, it's a different kind of a buzz. Now, what got you into jazz, and how long have you been banging away at jazz?
So I got into jazz as soon as the schools had a jazz ensemble that I was able to join. In middle school, that was the first year I was able to join a jazz ensemble, because elementary school, unfortunately, didn't offer that.
Right. Some schools don't have the funding. That's true.
Yeah. But it was around that time when I was really getting into writing my own music, or at least learning about that. And I would spend so much of my time playing for fun that I kind of figured out how to improvise without really being taught necessarily. I did start taking lessons eventually, not too long after that, actually. But then that's when I realized that jazz is the perfect place for me to do that, and it's also just very fun to listen to, which is why I love playing it. A lot of musicians can probably agree that some of their favorite type of music to play is what they listen to. I like listening to jazz. It's fun to listen to, and it's only even more fun to play jazz. And again, like what Jacob said, it's also a great learning experience to learn how to properly improvise and learn how to intermesh with the other members in the ensemble during a performance. And like you said, it's also completely different in a rehearsal setting and a live setting. And it's always something new, which keeps it very exciting.
Sure. By the way, if you're on the radio, we're just talking right now with Dylan Schore and Jacob Wurst. They're musicians and students at Eastern in their music program. They have a concert coming up on Monday, December 2nd at 7:30 in the beautiful concert hall area. It's the lobby outside the concert hall. It's beautiful, huge space, glass everywhere at the Eastern campus. And they do this occasionally throughout the year. It's a beautiful space. So for you guys now, the school has recently opened up the FAIC. It might be about 10 years old now, maybe 8 years old. But I've been teaching in Eastern 41 years, so I go back to the days of Schaefer. So when they invested in that new facility, it energized the whole school, and the arts especially, with technology. So you're a couple of years in the program. You've been there for a few years. What's it like now in the building, learning the music and the history in this new facility, which is really technology-based now? They got a serious investment of money from the state, and the program has just blossomed in so many ways.
Yeah. Just the setting is it's exquisite. It helps. If I may say correctly, it helps the experience. I'd say it's probably a little bit inspirational for some people.
The space itself.
Yeah, the space itself. It's very aesthetically pleasing. You sometimes when you're there enough years and just like sitting in the lobby, you sort of take it all for granted. But like if you pull back and just look around, then you can see, wow, this space is pretty. It is like pretty. It's very nice. And I just like the sorts of people that it brings in. The sorts of the sorts of people that you could talk to about either music or art or theater, because they're all brought to that building, and it all brings a nice sense of cohesiveness to the sort of fine arts.
Kind of a community space.
Yes.
And so, how is this for you?
I agree with everything Jacob said. It's an absolutely gorgeous space that makes you want to learn about music, considering you're doing that in such a well-built space, not only aesthetically, but also technologically. It's absolutely state-of-the-art. I found out about 15 minutes ago that the concert hall has bolsters that can be adjusted to change the resonance of the space based on the type of ensemble that's playing in there, and that blows my mind. And of course, it makes sense that a performance space has something like that. I didn't know that we had that there. So,
well, it's usually in big cities. when they have, serious investments, because the acoustics change according to the instruments in the room. And it's a beautiful hall. The sight lines, it's a nice gentle slope, stadium style, but it's a gentle slope. The sound is very nice all around. But that's what they invested in, that you can hear, definitely.
Absolutely. And the classroom spaces as well are all up to date. You could do pretty much anything in there. They all have they all have pianos. And it's just a great space to learn. I don't really have much else to say other than that.
Yeah. But the last thing I wanted to ask you guys is like a little crystal ball question for the future. Some people I talk to who are really into music are thinking about maybe music education and passing on the tradition and the craft. Other people are trying to get out there in the marketplace of music and performance. How does that play out in your programs when they help you guys think both ways? And then in your own thinking now, you got some more time to go. You're finishing soon. Congratulations, buddy. You're almost done, man.
Yeah.
You're almost there.
Thank you very much.
One more semester. Bravo. But what's the crystal ball like for different ways to follow music as a path?
Well, the thing about getting like a music degree or music or just like any sort of a musical award or certificate for being involved with music is that music is very diverse. You could approach it from a performance side. You could be a leader in a performance, like being a member of the 3 O'Clock Jazz Band. It's being a student leader. It's helped me develop leadership skills, and it's helped me develop communication skills in a performance setting.
Yep.
But then you may also take it from a more academic or a more research focused perspective, which is currently my concentration over at the school, earning my bachelor's in both communications and music.
That's a nice combination.
Yeah.
Some do like business communications, but music communications, the way technology is today, that's a really nice mix there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you could also approach it from the point of view of the music industry and being involved with any sorts of things that might be played here on the radio.
Sure. Oh, yeah. It's a big pie. It's a big world. And how about for you? You have a couple years to go, so you got more gumbo in the mix there. But what do you think as of now your thoughts might be?
So I went into Eastern not choosing a concentration for my music major. And I still don't have a concentration selected, but I'm working on that. And I've been thinking about it more and more, and I really am not sure which one to decide, because I can go in a performance direction, which would involve, of course, improving the skill level on my instrument as much as I can.
Sure.
I can take the music industry side of it, like Jacob talked about. And then I could study musicology, which involves music history and things like that, music theory, composition. And I honestly, if I could, I would do all three of those.
That's a nice mix. Some people are mixing anthropology and music and culture, how the instruments travel and the way you play the instrument. All these things move around the world that way.
Yes.
Right.
It's a rich area. It is. And that's what Easter could do. It could give you all different ways to explore this thing called music, depending on, what the muse says to you. So I want to thank you guys for coming by today. I know the semester is winding down. Things are crazy before the holidays. But I congratulate you on all the good work you're doing to keep the music alive and in people's ears and faces. I wish you a good Thanksgiving. And I'll be having more people on from Eastern next semester about their different events. So I wish you well and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much.
Okay, again, that was Jacob Wurst and Dylan Schore from Eastern. So take care, you guys.
You too.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is hear a little piece of music as a break. Speaking of music, I have a treat for you. If you are a fan of the Grateful Dead or any audio, there's a guy named Owsley Stanley who's known for many things, but the thing that we're going to talk about today on the radio is his sonic journals. This organization has 1,500 hours of his audio that has not been released yet. He is one of the most legendary audio recording engineers. He has a different idea that is not stereo, it's photographic. When you listen to Owsley audio with speakers, it's left to right. And there's no stereo mix. So it's like you're sitting there and whatever's happening on the left is on the left. and whatever's on the right is on the right, and his audio quality is unbelievable. Deadheads know this. His nickname is Bear, and he has a whole collection of music, Bear's Choice, and it shows his craft. So next week we're going to talk to Hawk from the Owsley Stanley Foundation on the show. I've talked to him 4 times before. This one is John Hammond from San Francisco, 1973. John Hammond did a lot to bring the blues to American audiences, translating cultural lines. We're going to hear a tune now just to give you an idea of what this is, and we'll talk about it more next week. It's called Ask Me Nice. John Hammond, 50 years ago.
Just got here a day for yesterday. Won't be long and I'll be on my way. These few days that I'll be round, please don't try to bring me down. Made my entrance on a Greyhound bus. I don't intend to cause a fuss. Like my style, that's fine with me. If you don't, just let me be. So don't try to make me what I'm not. I just get by what I got. Live, let live, that's my advice. You got questions, ask me nice. I don't claim to be so great. I'm no paid seller, no potentate. I got some kids, I had a wife. I'm just trying to swing my way through life. So don't try to make me what I'm not. I just get by with what I got. Live, let live, that's my advice. You got questions, ask me nice. I'm not the first, I'm not the most, and of this town I am not the toast. I'm getting older every day. I'm just trying to do it, baby, in my way. I said, now don't try to make me what I'm not. I just get by what I got. Live, let live, that's my advice. You got questions, ask me nice.
Okay, we're back live. I hope you enjoyed that, John Hammond. It's an amazing 3 CD, impeccable audio, great craftsmanship. We'll be talking with Hawk next week. But if you just do a search on Owsley Stanley Foundation, you'll find out about this archive, and it'll blow your mind or blow your ears or both. It's incredible stuff. Well, we have a few minutes left in the show today, and I want to do something that I don't get to do as much as I like, is to share a calendar of events. I get tons of emails from you, and I'm very grateful for all of them. I try to work them in as much as I can. I have a few minutes today. I want to make sure to get a few things out, because with the end of the year, things are very, very busy now, and I want to make good on my promises to get the word out. The Beehive Queen, Christine Ullman, and Rebel Montez are going to be doing some concert on Saturday, November 30th at the Kate. Okay, that's thekate.org is the website for tickets and information. The Sin Sisters will be there as well. It's their annual Thanksgiving blowout. Christine Ullman. Had her on the phone a couple of weeks ago talking about that. It's always good to have Christine in the house. Right here in town, Bruce John wanted me to mention that the Breadbox Theater has a fantastic documentary coming up on December 1st at 4 o'clock. It's worth a look. It's Bonnie Blue, James Cotton's life in the blues. I saw this I think it was in Wallingford or in New London with Christine and James Montgomery this summer. They were on tour with this documentary and playing. They're doing this just as a documentary. They're going to have music. James Montgomery, Christine, and Bruce John will be there. And it's going to be at the Capitol Theater, which is a beautiful facility. Many of you may have never been inside. I did a series of films there years ago when I was with Wyndham Arts. It is a beautiful theater. About 120 people can fit in there. Incredible acoustics, great appearances. It's a great place to see a documentary and to hear music. Again, December 1st, 4 o'clock, Capitol Theater on Main Street, 896. James Cotton, Christine with Bruce John, all about James Cotton. So please check that out. It should be awesome. I want to mention, too, the Wyndham Theater Guild. It has a new show starting out December 6th through the 15th. It's their production of Every Christmas Story Ever Told, and then some. They were here last week talking about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can go to their website, too, to get tickets and information. But it's from December 6th to the 15th, wyndhamtheaterguild.org. I wish them a great season. I thank them for all the work they do to keep theater alive in our area throughout the year, and we'll keep them coming next semester, next spring as well. Also, speaking of semesters, Eastern's closing out their semester with a great reinterpretation of the Orpheus myth. It's called Eurydice. It's at the Eastern Theater, the Proscenium Theater, Thursday, December 5th through Sunday the 8th. Only a few shows, but it's a very high-tech environment they create to retell the story, traveling to the underworld, and the whole journey, between Orpheus and Eurydice. That's going to be at Eastern. Go to their website, easternct.showware.com, and you can search for the event. But that's right here on the Eastern campus, about a mile away from our studios. I got a couple more minutes, Matt? I do. I want to mention, too, the 9th Annual Manchester Jazz Festival is going to be coming up December 7th at Cheney Hall in Manchester. That'll be at 6 p.m. Doors open. Festival begins at 6:30. They have a whole outline of bands, including the Emmy nominee Benny Benack III with his quartet, also the Matt de Champlain Quintet, Andrew Wilcox Trio, as well as the Yukon Student Jazz Combo. This is their 9th year. It's a great event. It's been very successful every year. Again, it's going to be December 7th, Saturday, beginning at 6 p.m. starting. The music is at 6:30. Okay, we have some more things in December we'll talk about later. I also want to mention, too, that we're going to be focusing more on the New London Norwich area. I've got Brad coming from the Fiddleheads Food Co-op on December 11th. We're also talking to people at the Hygienic Arts, an incredible art space in Norwich. Actually, it's in New London. I should be corrected. We're going to have people there, as well as the Guard Art Theater. So we're expanding our reach here in the Northeast to the Southeast. Lots of things happening there that we'll be covering as well. And locally, I'm going to get back to the Wyndham Music and Arts Cultural Commission. I had them on this summer. It's been a long time. They're our arts commission here in town trying to look at the arts community, the arts environment, and what's happening. So we haven't talked to them for some time. I'll try to get them in December or January as we keep our focus here in Wyndham. So that's about it for the moment, folks. If you want to get involved, I'd love to have you in the studio. Just use an email to send me news or to be a guest. It's the same thing. It's john@humanartsmedia.com. We're here every Wednesday live on WILI. We're also on Fridays on WICH, and we're on WECS, and we're on YouTube. If you go to the WILI radio channel on YouTube, all of our shows, most of them, have their own playlists. You can catch them all. So thanks again. I send you my thanks. I'm going to give thanks tomorrow for having you in my life and this radio station for Thanksgiving 2024. I send you my very best, and we'll see you next week.